Hey guys, Christina here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm finally working on my 7 Deadly Sins series again, and I'm focusing on sloth for this illustration in particular. Now, for some weird reason, the last year of my life has been focused and sort of revolving around the idea of the 7 deadly sins, which I find very weird. The subject itself doesn't bother me in any way. I find it fascinating, but it's just kind of weird and creepy and funny at the same time how so many things in my life are currently related to those sins. So I have this art series going on my channel, obviously, and then I started uni a few months ago, and the first project, well, when I say the first project, it's one project for the entire year, but the whole project is focused and based on the 7 deadly sins. And the building that I'm designing and that I'm working on is kind of based on sloth and rat. So it's very, very weird, how so many things, it's big parts of my life that are actually connected to the subject of the 7 deadly sins, which I find to be a bit funny. But anyway, I feel like because I'm, as I said, working on a building that's related to sloth, I felt like I want this to be the next sin that I illustrate. And you might have noticed I don't usually talk about my concepts and the meaning behind my art or anything like this. And that's for a reason. A few years ago, I was asked whether I want to give an interview for this online magazine. They had an artist of the week section, and I did. And they sent me some questions, and one of the questions was something along the lines of, how do you make sure that people understand your art correctly and they interpret it the way that you want them to? Something like that. That was the general idea. And I felt one way about it then, and I still feel the same way about it now. To me, it's not important that people interpret my art the way I do. For me, it's not important that people see my idea and the meaning that I put into the art piece when they look at it. I try to create art that makes people think and makes people come up with their own storyline for the artwork. So I really feel uncomfortable explaining what I wanted this artwork to mean and what was the storyline that I had in my head for this artwork, because I feel like I'm forcing people to see something that they might not be seeing. They might feel a completely different thing, and they might have a completely different storyline in their head when they look at my artwork. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but apart from drawing, my other big passion is writing, and I've been published a few times in my home country. And when I create my artwork, I aim to create an illustration that captures a moment of a story that I would write or a story I would love to read. So that's why I don't go too much into the ideas behind my art, because I feel weird about talking about it. But I suppose if I have to tell you something about the idea behind this piece, is that I had this idea of creating a character that shouldn't be associated with sloth in any way. So I created the character of this maid, and obviously her job is to take care of someone's house, but instead she chooses to take a little nap and not do her job. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, it feels weird talking about it. That's why I don't do it. It's just odd trying to explain to people what you mean. But let's say this is the rough idea behind this piece. It's just this cute little maid sleeping casually, not doing her job, being a bit lazy and cheeky. But yeah, I mean, other than that, for this piece, I really try to use more of my Spectrum Noir markers, and the reason for that is that I'm running out of a lot of my Copic markers just now, and I need to buy a lot of refills for them, and I'm kind of procrastinating and putting it off because I don't want to spend all the money on all the ink that I need to get. So I'm trying to improvise and find similar colors and like the Spectrum Noir markers that I've got that I can use to sort of substitute the Copic markers that I normally use. And to be honest, I'm really happy with the colors that I sort of discovered that kind of match the Copic marker colors that I use. And I really love Spectrum Noir markers. I know the big issue with them is that they have a bullet nib instead of a brush nib. But to be honest, for specific things in my art, I don't really mind, and I don't really make a difference if it's gonna be a bullet nib or a brush tip. I think it's just the way that I use my markers and the way that I choose to color my drawings. A lot of times I choose to start coloring with laying down a flat color and then adding other shades on top of it. So especially for large areas where it's just flat color, to me it doesn't really matter what kind of nib your marker has. So I've been enjoying using my Spectrum Noir markers a lot. And I've been using more of my Pro markers recently. I forgot how good they were. I've said before what my problems with them is. It's just a packaging issue that I've got. I hate the sound that the plastic makes when you accidentally scratch it. So that's why I don't use them more often. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I've got to say for this piece. I really hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because I have many more cool videos to come. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.